It's Jordan Mulligan from the Mulliganbrothers, and today's video is with renowned motivational speaker and motivational content creator, Eddie Pinero, the creator of Your World Within, talking about taking your passion from part-time to full-time. This is the crossover that is so difficult for people to make. They'll have a job and they'll have their passion or their side hustle on the side. This is Eddie Pinero's practical and inspirational advice on how to make that transition. Today's video was sponsored by betterhelp.com, where you can get online professional therapy with a link in the description. Before that, let's jump into this amazing video with Eddie Pinero.
I remember when I said, you know what, I'm going to commit to this. And this is going to be, everything else is out. And, this is going to be my full-time thing. And I was still living in Boston at the time, in a little apartment. And, just decided, hey, if I can help a few people like this, then I can help a lot of people like this, and it's just a matter of sticking with it. It's a matter of, the times where you create something that you think is monumental and it's going to change the world, and you release it and maybe it flops, maybe it doesn't, but you don't get discouraged, and you move on to the next one. And it's just repetition, adjustment, self-belief, all these things that manifest over time. And that's what you guys talk about in your videos too. It's like, so much of it is just committing to this process.
I remember our first filmed piece was that it's going to change the world. Like, it was so monumental to us, and it flopped, and it hurt, it stung, yeah. But we did manage to keep going. I mean, how do you keep going in those moments, like, especially when you're so invested into this? Like, how did you keep going?
I think you learn to depersonalize it, right? Like a thick skin where it's, hey, this is not a referendum on me or my talent or my ability. This is, some shots go in and some don't. And, the second you understand that, it's freeing. There was a point where it's like, how could this not do well? I spent, 30 hours making this and my heart and soul went into it. It's life, it's life, and there's value to extract. Maybe you look at it, understand why it missed, why it didn't, but you move on. It's truly mobility that creates our advantages in life, because you can't be perfect, you can't plan everything, but it's like you're trying to navigate something that's constantly moving. So when you step into it, you'll take your L's and grab your lessons, but ultimately down the road, you're a different person than when you started. And I think that's what it's about, the courage to sort of step into that moving dynamic.
This is me making assumptions here, but well, not so much on this. Very, very skilled person, motivated person, highly driven, could probably be extremely successful in a corporate job working up the ladder. And you decided to stop that. And my assumption is that probably put yourself in a more compromised situation financially, right. Difficult situation to help others. I'd love to know why. Like, what's the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, two reasons: impact and upside. I can have a better impact doing what I'm doing. When you're in the corporate world, I mean, sure, you can impact the people around you, you can help your business, but it's, my heart and soul was not in the mission. It's really hard to, get up every day and be excited about something when you're just not in it. And I wanted to feel it. I wanted to live and breathe it. The other thing is, when it's your business, when you wake up in the morning, you'll get out what you put in, and I love that. It's like, if I want to stay in bed all day, I could, but I'd get nothing. But getting out and stepping into this sort of unknown, the infinite potential, who knows what could happen, right? And that's, evolution has been the most fun. I mean, I've talked to people, gone places, I've participated in projects, done things that never really dreamed of doing, because I sort of took on that risk. And entrepreneurs know that, artists know that, everyone does in some capacity. But this 8-year journey now has certainly reinforced it.
Why helping people? Like, there's gaming out there. There's so many different genres of YouTube. You probably could have been successful. Like, why help people?
Feels good. It feels good. One is I love personally the idea of perspective and mindset. I'm fascinated by it. And two, just to take something that you've lived and give that to someone else who, you know, might be in a different place in their life, might be doing something totally different, but that connection that's like, hey, you know, you went through that, you learned that lesson, and in my totally different corner of the universe, I'm applying it, and you know, it's changed everything for me. And I can't even articulate it. It's just such a beautiful feeling that, yeah, I mean, I knew that was sort of my lane. You know, I just love it.
Is there that for everybody? You know, is there that I feel so privileged to wake up each morning with that purpose and to know, like, I'll never lose that. Like basketball wasn't the same for me. Like it didn't feel like this. Whereas like this is like, I know I could do this for the rest of my life. Like there's no doubt about it. Is there that for everybody? Like it feels like almost like it couldn't spread out throughout the world, you know, like that. But can everybody have that in their life?
I think yes. I mean, I think it just requires exploration and some risk. It's hard because to obtain something new, you have to leave something behind, right? And it's very difficult to uproot certain aspects of your life. I mean, you know, when I was doing this, or when I started, friends and family, people that only love me, right? They only want the best for me. You know, they're saying, hey, you know, you have a good thing going. Are you sure you want to do this, right? I mean, there's a lot of resistance. The you know, the no money thing, even the pride thing, the uncertainty. I mean, it's tough to not know what you're doing for a while. But I think anyone willing to step in and explore and test the waters and understand that something beautiful will come out of it, you know, there's, again, that word upside. It's all there. You know, you just have to sort of step out from where you are, which is always the most difficult part.
Yeah, taking that leap of faith, it could choke people to the point where they just won't do it. Like, I mean, so many people will daydream on taking that leap of faith. Like, how would you, obviously not convinced, like people need to come to their own conclusions on this, but like what kind of advice would you give to somebody who was, you know, maybe considering that?
I think regret is the worst thing we could experience. That, you know, to stay where you are and look at life through a window is not, although, you know, we're biologically conditioned for that safety, ultimately, you know, it's not going to get us where we want to be. And the thing is, it doesn't need to be all at once either, right? It's not like you have to drop everything. We're talking about little movements, little pieces. We're talking about creating some type of momentum or progression. You know, when I started doing this, like I mentioned, it wasn't like quit my job, boom, speechwriter. No, I mean, I explored. I had a studio part-time while I was working. I was, you know, taking the camera out. I was writing songs. I started writing speeches. You know, it's just gravitating towards what's meaningful to you. And it's funny, like I went my whole life without thinking about it. And you can, it's very easy to not think, hey, what's meaningful to me? What do I want out of life? And so it's almost like you want to remind the world that there is more, and it is obtainable, and it is scary, but it's worth it. Just start.
Thank you so much to Eddie for helping create this video and giving this advice. For me, it's such a difficult transition to explain to people, so I'm so glad that someone like Eddie can articulate it. Our way in which we did it is we had our full-time jobs, and then we had Mulliganbrothers on the side, and when we felt that Mulliganbrothers could sustain us financially, we just jumped ships. I would say you want a smoother transition. We kind of jumped in at the deep end and it worked out, but that's not always the case. So smooth transitions, I would say, I like the idea of replace a day at work. So get it so your side hustle pays a day at work, take a day off, put another day into your side hustle. Anyway, today's video was sponsored by BetterHelp.com, where you can get online professional therapy with the link in the description, and also Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the new Mulliganbrothers hoodies and the new book that is linked down below. So go check that out, go inspire some change, follow me on Instagram @JordanMulliganBrother, and have a blessed and productive day. Peace.